the Planning Commission meeting for July 22nd.
Recording in progress.
Because our usual chair may be in a spotty connection zone, and she is on vacation, so she deserves to just participate instead of running it. We're happy that you can join us in the middle of your vacation, Chair Mills. So welcome to the Thursday, July 22nd, 2021 meeting of the Ann Arbor Planning Commission. This meeting is being held electronically to protect public health and safety due to the COVID-19 virus and to comply with orders issued by the Governor of the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and or the Washtenaw County Health Department. We intend to conduct this meeting similarly to an in-person meeting. However, please be patient if there are technical issues. To speak during public comment opportunities, you will be able to speak through your webinar link or by phone, depending on your method of access to this meeting and available devices. Both the phone number and web link are available on the published agenda in the public notices section of the city website. For phone access, call 877-853-5247 and enter meeting ID 977-6634-1226. A special thing about tonight is that this meeting is not being broadcast live, but will be recorded and available on the city's website for future on-demand viewing. Mr. Leonard, will you call the roll?
Yes. Commissioner Mills.
Present in Bel Air, Michigan.
Commissioner Milstein.
Here in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Commissioner Gibb Randall.
Here in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Commissioner Sauvé.
Here from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Commissioner Abrams. Commissioner Hammerschmidt.
Here from Ann Arbor.
Commissioner Dish. Commissioner Lee.
Here from Ann Arbor.
Commissioner Clark. I see you, Commissioner Clark, but I didn't. We do have a quorum. We have 4, 5, 6, 7 members present. Just as a reminder to the commission that it takes 6 affirmative votes to forward an affirmative recommendation on any petition.
All right, we are on to item 3, which is introductions. Do we have any introductions this evening?
None this evening.
Okay, we will move on to the approval of the agenda. May I have a motion to approve the agenda? Okay, looks like moved by Commissioner Sauvé and seconded by Commissioner Milstein. Any discussions on the motion? I'll say all those in favor of the motion, please say aye or raise your hand. Any opposed? Looks good, so that passes. Alrighty, now we are on to number 5, which is minutes of the previous meeting. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the June 1st, 2021 meeting? Okay, moved by Commissioner Lee and seconded by Commissioner Mills. Any discussion of the minutes? No. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye or raise your right hand. Any opposed? Nope, they all pass. Okay, now we are on item 6, which is the reports to the Planning Commission. Looks like Council Member Dish. I know we have a conflict tonight with Environmental Commission and she is attending there. So Mr. Leonard, any report from you?
Sure, and I can cover at City Council this week.
That would be great.
One planning related item, the proposed hotel at 300 West Huron was approved by the City Council. So that was the only planning related agenda item. Just for sharing information, I anticipate at the Ordinance Revisions Committee upcoming meeting, we will be presenting to the committee some proposed draft work programs with a little bit more detail about steps and timing of 2 ongoing work activities. One is proposed changes to our parking ordinance, and the second, city initiated rezoning of some focusing on the state and Eisenhower area to proposed TC1 zoning.
Great. All right, thank you. Any other commissioners or officers or committee liaisons have any reports? Don't see anything, so we will move on to item number 7, which is public comment. This is an opportunity for persons to speak up to 3 minutes about an issue that is not listed as a public hearing on this agenda. Please note that the Planning Commission will be holding a dedicated public hearing on 3090 Geddes Avenue annexation and zoning. If you wish to address the Planning Commission on other matters, now is the appropriate time. To speak on this matter, press *9 if listening by phone, or use the raise hand feature if viewing through the web link.
We do not have any attendees listed either by web or phone, so therefore nobody has indicated a desire to address the commission.
Okay, so we will move on to item number 8, which is the public hearings for the next business meeting.
Yes, we have 3 new public hearings scheduled for the upcoming business meeting on August 3rd. The first is a proposed site plan and special exception use permit for a marijuana provisioning center and retailer by issuance of a special exception use permit and the addition of an outdoor patio to the courtyard of an existing hotel. This is at 3850 to 3860 Research Park Drive. The second new scheduled public hearing is 2040-2060 West Stadium Boulevard. You recall this is a previous proposal that the Planning Commission considered. The proposal has been modified. Now it solely features a proposed 2-story commercial building with approximately 12,700 square feet with 52 vehicular parking spaces, a drive-through, which requires a special exception use permit by the Planning Commission. And then the third newly scheduled public hearing are proposed amendments to section 5.29.6 site plan specific standards in chapter 55 of the Unified Development Code. This is the public hearing and presentation of proposed modifications to the level of review required for various types of site plan and the organization and communication of those standards in the Unified Development Code.
All right, so we are on to item 9A, which is our regular business. And we will be speaking about 3090 Geddes Avenue annexation and zoning for City Council approval. And we will be getting a presentation from Mr. Leonard. Yeah, go ahead. Or should I start with the public hearing? Start with the public hearing. Okay, this is an opportunity.
No.
No. You want to do it first? Okay.
You're going too fast for me.
Sorry. Trying to get you to your dinner, man.
No problem. I'm going to share a brief map. Please let me know by nodding or a thumbs if you can see that. Okay, great. So this is, as is typical, this is a proposed annexation and zoning of a single family property that's currently located in Ann Arbor Township and is proposing to be annexed into the city of Ann Arbor. It's at 3090 Geddes Road. And they're proposing rezoning to the R1A zoning district. The property is about a 1.5 acre property. It does have an existing house on it. Sorry, I skipped by that a little bit too quickly. As you can see from the context of the area, it's in. There's a lot of the adjacent properties already been annexed to the city. This is the parcel right here. You can see it's one of just a few islands in this immediate vicinity that is still a township island. And the petitioner, in addition to the annexation, is proposing to zone it R1A, which is consistent with this entire district and the immediately surrounding area. And staff is supportive of both the annexation and the proposed zoning. And barring any questions, now we can jump into the public hearing.
All righty. This is an opportunity for persons to speak up to 3 minutes about the proposed 3090 Geddes. If you wish to address the Planning Commission on this item, press *9 if listening by phone, or use the raise hand feature if viewing through the web link. For phone access, call 877-853-5247 and enter meeting ID 977-6634-1226. City staff will select callers that have raised their hand using the last 3 digits of your phone number or by name if available through those accessing through the web link. You will hear an automated announcement that the host is allowing you to speak. When speaking, please move to a quiet area and mute any television or background sound so that we may hear you clearly. Please state your name and address at the beginning of your comments. And I will read the motion from the staff report, which is the Ann Arbor City Planning Commission hereby recommends that the mayor and city council approve the Rothfuss annexation and R1A single family dwelling district zoning for 3090 Geddes Road. Moved by.
Before we get to that, I just note that there are no speakers again no attendees either logged in via web or by phone, so you can proceed with that motion if anybody would like
Okay.
to support it.
All righty. So let's see, moved by Commissioner Milstein and seconded by Commissioner Lee. All righty, discussion of the proposed motions. Commissioner Hammerschmidt.
This isn't really discussion, but I just wanted to know, when I first started reading this, the staff recommendation says proposed R1B zoning. So then I got confused and I realized I think that's just an error. I don't know if that needs to be corrected for like posterity, but I just wanted to call that out.
Yeah, my apologies. That was the text in the recommendation. The motion is our intention to be consistent with the surrounding area. I'm sorry for that typo.
Any other comments or questions? All righty. So now I read the motion.
You already
Or
did.
no, so that's good. So I just need it to be moved. No, we just need the roll call vote at this
Yep.
point. Okay.
Commissioner Mills,
Yes.
Commissioner Milstein,
Yes.
Commissioner Gibrandal,
Yes.
Commissioner Sauvé,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammerschmidt,
Yes.
Commissioner Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right, we are now on to 10A, which is other business and the election of officers. And Mr. Leonard will give us a staff overview for this.
Sure. As you are aware, likely, or have were reminded when you were reviewing the next business item, the bylaws specify that the Planning Commission re-elect officers on an annual basis. This is done simply through a nomination motion that can be made and supported by members of the commission. And it can be done on an individual basis, or you could do it as a slate of candidates for all of the executive officers of the commission. As a reminder, the executive officers of the commission are the chair, the vice chair, and the secretary. Currently, as you know, those are Commissioner Mills, Commissioner Gibrandal, and Commissioner Abrams, respectively. I have asked them, they are willing to serve in that capacity for another year, if that is the wishes of the Planning Commission. The bylaws do allow for a 2-year term. After that 2 years, if they were reappointed to those roles, new commissioners would have to fill those roles at the next time. So with that, you can entertain a motion, or if other individuals would like to nominate anybody else for any of those roles, that is of course appropriate as well.
Commissioner Milstein.
I move to reappoint our chair, vice chair, and secretary for another term.
Moved by Commissioner Sauvé and seconded by Commissioner Lee.
Moved by Commissioner Milstein and seconded by Sauvé.
Oh, yes, sorry, correct. Is there any discussion? Nope. Okay, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Or raise your hand. Looks like we have a unanimous slate here. So any opposed? Okay, motion carries. All righty. So we are now on to the last public comment, which is item number 11. This is an opportunity for persons to speak up to 3 minutes about any item of interest.
Do I have one more other business item?
Oh,
Commissioner?
other business. Oh, sorry, I just skipped right over that. How could I? Sorry about that. Item 10B, which is other business, review of the bylaws.
And just give me one moment here. Since this is mostly text oriented, I can probably just provide an overview of the changes. Let me know if commissioners would like me to pull up the language. I can do that, but for now, I'll just summarize. Also, in the current bylaws, it it directs the planning commission to review the bylaws for proposed changes or just sort of affirmation of the bylaws as appropriate on an annual basis as well. You will recall that we've made quite a number of changes to the bylaws last year. I confess to you, I didn't do anything with those, so they have not yet been adopted by City Council. But since you have already made those changes, my intention was to roll those changes as well as any action or affirmation you make tonight after this meeting. What you are seeing are the bylaws as you had previously amended them, but not as they currently exist because Council doesn't take action on those changes. The additional proposed changes that I would recommend at this time are to just add a couple of definitional references, specifically add CIP as a reference to the capital improvements plan. I am proposing that because another change that I am also proposing is to strike the word master plan from the bylaws and instead replace it with comprehensive plan. And likewise, generally refer to that document going forward in the bylaws as the plan. So the distinction between the CIP and the plan being our comprehensive plan versus the capital improvements plan. The change from master plan to comprehensive plan has been a conversation that has happened recently at the Planning Commission about how the term master can have very negative connotations to American history and the sense of paternalism at times. So while I acknowledge I'm still doing my best to change my own terminology when referring to it, I would suggest that we modify our bylaws to that aspiration. The next proposed change is to modify our expected attendance at regularly scheduled meetings. I have mirrored the language that was recently adopted for the Environmental Commission, and the changes to that are that it no longer requires the chair to report when a member misses a certain category of meetings, but it allows the chair to report if necessary or if desired. And then I also modified the numbers as the Planning Commission has more meetings than the Environmental Commission to be a slightly higher standard than the Environmental Commission from a percentage perspective. But it would say that a commissioner can't miss more than 3 consecutive meetings without notice or 6 or more meetings in any 12-month period. So those would be setting the new threshold for those, and that would be for that would set that new threshold. And then again, it would be permissive for the chair to report an attendance issue to the mayor, but not directive for the chair to do so. And then the last proposed change that I am proposing is in the standard order of our agenda. I'm proposing that we strike introductions. We rarely, if ever, have introductions. While it doesn't take a lot of time, there's nothing to ever stop us from making an introduction as part of any agenda item. And it might just save a brief 35 seconds on every meeting and number of items that you are facing. So those are the proposed changes I would suggest. If you agree, a motion would be in order to adopt them as presented. And then Scout's honor at this going forward, they would be presented to City Council in conjunction with your previous recommended changes for adoption by the City Council.
All righty. Any questions or discussion? No, already. Can I have a motion to approve the bylaws as presented? Moved by Commissioner Milstein and seconded by Commissioner Mills. Any discussion of the proposed motion? Commissioner Mills.
I would just say that I really appreciate the move in the language for attendance. I feel like this is something that every year comes up again and again. And speaking as the chair who is supposed to have that attendance responsibility, I appreciate, I like that. I feel much more comfortable with this language. So.
Yeah.
Also, I do appreciate reviewing this once a year just to remind ourselves of, kind of what's in it. So I'm glad that that's part of our order or bylaws.
All righty. Anybody else? Okay, all of those in favor of the motion, please say aye or raise your right hand. It looks like We pass there. Any opposed? The motion carries. Alrighty, any other business proposed? I propose that we have a little bit of a, he's trying.
Nope.
We do have
Public
one.
comment.
We do have one more public comment opportunity.
Oh. So to public comment next, Mr. Leonard? Okay.
Yes, please.
Alrighty. Alrighty, this is an opportunity for persons to speak up to 3 minutes about any item of interest. If you wish to address the Planning Commission at this time, press *9 if listening by phone, or use the raise hand feature if viewing through the web link. For phone access, call 877-853-5247 and enter meeting ID 977-6634-1226. City staff will select callers that have raised their hand using the last 3 digits of your phone number or by name if available through those accessing the web link. You will hear an automated announcement that the host is allowing you to speak. When speaking, please move to a quiet area and mute any television or background sound so that we may hear you clearly. Please state your name and address at the beginning of your comments. Looks like we have a listener, but I don't see their hand raised.
Yep, let's just give it a moment or two in case
Alrighty.
they're contemplating their thoughts together, getting their thoughts together. And I see no indication, so.
Okay. Alrighty. So then we move on to item 12, which is commission proposed business. Any commission proposed business? Yes, Mr. Leonard.
Well, we talked about this a little bit before the meeting gets started, and I just wanted to acknowledge, depending on action by the City Council, this could be Commissioner Milstein's last meeting with the Planning Commission. His term has ended, and he is in the bylaws specified extension until his replacement is specified. A replacement has been nominated at this week's City Council meeting. If appointed at the following Planning Commission meeting, that would be occurring prior to our next meeting. So I just wanted to share a brief overview. Commissioner Milstein has had a long record of public service. I'm sure beyond what I'm about to summarize, but starting in 2006, he was serving on the Building Board of Appeals. He served in that capacity until 2011. From 2010, yes, co-serving on the Building Board of Appeals to the Zoning Board of Appeals. He served on the Zoning Board of Appeals from 2010 until 2016. And again, because he is such a bridge builder, from 2012 to 2021, he has been serving on this board, obviously most recently prior to the current year as chair as well. Based on my scientific calculations, Commissioner Milstein has attended about 418 public meetings over that time period. That works out to about every 9 business days he is spending his evening either in City Council chambers, on Zoom, or in some other public meeting forum doing the business of the city along with his colleagues. So I just wanted to say that I really appreciate ever since Commissioner Milstein's time on the commission preceded my time here at the city. He's always been a great resource and supportive and has obviously contributed to making the city a better place. So thank you, Commissioner Milstein.
Anybody else? Commissioner Mills.
I'll add that I feel like Commissioner Milstein is a tough act to follow in terms of chair, and I learned a lot by being at the table. And I feel like we started right around the same time, and I didn't think it was 2012 because I think we took over terms of some other people, right? It was like 2014. Even so, that's a long time, as I can attest. And I mean, you brought to the Planning Commission table this experience with these other commissions, and I can't tell, like, especially the Zoning Board of Appeals, how many times that was really useful to the table, and that experience is really going to be missed. And so I'm glad that you get your Tuesday nights back, and that you'll be cheering us from the sidelines. But really do appreciate all of your service and leading the way. So thank you.
Commissioner Hammerschmidt.
I just want to jump in on this. I mean, just being new to planning commission, I guess 2 years ago, I have no concept of time anymore. As with you being the chair and then like just all of the thoughtful things that you would ask petitioners and bring, like I learned so much just from like listening to you. So I appreciate that. And hopefully we'll still get to see you around. I can't believe it's been so long since we've all met in person. We can't even like celebrate you in person, but hopefully soon.
Anybody else? Commissioner Sauvé.
I'll just add that I have the utmost respect for the voice of reason you bring to a lot of things. And when I think you hold a different line than a lot of us, like you brought a much different perspective in a lot of ways. And I really appreciated you being true to your perspective and where things were, and sometimes putting your vote out on the line. And I just really, really respect that about you, Alex. So thank you for all of your time on this.
Well, I'm going to say something too, which is I've learned a lot about real estate from listening to Alex too. And it's been a huge boon, I think, for our body to be able to have that perspective, because I've just learned a ton from you from that. And I really appreciate that. And I think you're willing to stick your neck out on votes sometimes that I've been like, whoa, you know, he's sticking his neck out. And that's also been something that that I admire a lot. And then, of course, I will always miss the annual Girl Scout cookie distribution that happens every year too. So we will miss you a lot. It really has been wonderful to be able to have you and your capacity for what you bring to the commission, and just you as a person. You just have a really nice presence on the commission. So thank you. All righty. Yes. Commissioner Milstein.
Thank you so much, guys. It has been an honor. Like I never imagined this, that I would learn so much, and to serve with all of you and previous commissioners, and to work with our amazing staff. Brett, thank you. You've made our job so much easier. So thank you to you and your staff for all that you do. I feel like, you know, the community has no idea what planning is and what your staff does. And so kudos to you for, you know, putting up with everybody and still moving this forward for the city of Ann Arbor. So it's been an honor to serve here. I am going to miss all of you. I'm going to miss this, but I'm not going away. I will still participate. I will still attend, and I will still bring Girl Scout cookies when I need to get rid of them when it's that season. So don't worry, I will still be around. And if at any point I can be of any help to any of you as you contemplate various decisions, I'm here and I'm happy to help. So thank you. And if needed, I'll still be here at our next meeting, but hopefully you'll get a new voice, a younger voice, not one that's jaded like mine at this point. And hopefully, you know, they'll bring a different perspective and they don't just hate the color brown. So hopefully there'll be somebody who's going to be a little bit more open to that. But otherwise, to anybody who's watching this or listening to this, it's an honor to serve the city of Ann Arbor, to serve all of our residents. And I look forward to continuing the work down the road. So thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. All righty, we are on to item number 13, which is adjournment.
I don't know if my dinner's ready yet, so if you
should we riff for a little longer? All righty, moved by Commissioner Mills, seconded by Commissioner Sauvé. All righty, we are adjourned. Wow,
Thank you
32
all.
minutes.
Bye all. Thanks, Al.